Hello, everyone. All right, so I'm Andrea P, and this is the story of my senior project. Let's begin. So, things I will be going over: the focus of my project, steps and events that went in place, my resources, the good and not so good, lessons learned, and special things. So, the focus of my senior project was to expose EKA to different cultures and open students' minds to help them explore their world. So, the first step I had to take was get my project approved, of course. Then I had to get my project started, so I started with morning announcements, music for the first semester. Then did research for my bulletin board that I had in the hallway. And I planned for the global project with my girl, Brittany Patrick, and began research for my club and seminar. So events that took place were morning announcements, Music Fridays, bulletin board of facts, and global project, and my seminar. So my announcements, this is where it all started. So it began with morning greetings on Friday mornings, where I had a few students and staff members say good morning in different languages. Then I started Music Friday, where I played music around the world in the lunchroom, and this was all for the first semester. Then my next step was to start bulletin board of facts that was hung up in the hallway in Building B. So my bulletin board of facts was filled with fun facts about the individual country, music artists/artists from that country, fashion, news and events from the country, and celebrities that were on the spotlight, like me. So here, this is my board from France, and I had this up towards the end of December and a little bit towards January. This is the board that I had of South Africa for part of January and February. This is my board of the United Arab Emirates that I had up for March. My board for India that I had up for April. And my last board that I had up for me, which was based on South Korea. So, the global project that I talked about before. So the goal of our global project was to educate the students on the culture and history of our individual states in the United States of America. So this project was a collaboration with Brittany Patrick. And then we had to get, of course, this global project approved by Ms. Matson. Then we started a draft on our lesson plan. And then we finalized our lesson plan, and then I started research on the cultural aspect of this. Then I created a passport for the students that were going to use it to travel around. And then me and Brittany, we organized itineraries for the groups, and honestly, it was such a struggle, and I'll tell you why. So it took Miss T, Brittany, and I about 4 hours to get this done. We thought we were doing great, but it was all messed up. So when we first got the format right, we were like, okay, yes, like we have this. And then all of a sudden, we forgot 2 states, Kentucky and Iowa. So after we did this, we had to like restart it, and then we got it good, and now this was the finished product. It was beautiful. So I just want everyone to know that I'm never going to Iowa or Kentucky. So right here is a picture of one of the displays, and it was on Michigan. Beautiful. They put a lot of work into this. On the other side is Iowa on the left, then Pennsylvania and Colorado. Iowa again, and the display of Nevada, and the group that had New York. So I knew I wanted to do more for my project, and I wanted to get my cultural awareness out, but I didn't know how. So I thought, oh, I can get a global, I can do a cultural club. So what I did was I had a sign up go around, and I got about 40 signatures. And then shortly after, I talked to those who signed up, and they were very honest and said they wouldn't go. So I knew I had to start my plan B due to schedule conflicts. Since my club idea did not work, Ms. T gave me the idea of hosting a seminar for second semester. What I needed for seminar was 4 lesson plans, supplies, food, and an advisor to help me, which was Ms. T. Sorry. Okay, so for my seminar, I started with introducing myself and my project and some of the things that we were going to be doing for seminar. Then we went off to different hellos where I had a page filled with 10 different hellos that we all learned in class. And then afterwards, we learned ground rules where I had the class split in 2 groups and talk about what rules they would like to have in our seminar and what we should follow. Then we had the Who Am I activity, where we had to fill up a little star-shaped paper with facts about ourselves. And after we were done, we walked around class, and if we saw people that had the same interests as us or same hobbies or anything else, we just had to sign our names on it, and it was really fun. So after this, I had a reflection paper, self-reflection paper, where I wanted to see where I can help my students to learn about culture or anything else. Then we did a traditional music game where I split the class in 2 teams, and then I played music for a little bit, and then the team who guessed the country where the music was from, they got points, and the winning team got snacks. So on the left is a picture of how the self-reflection handout looked like. And then on the right, it's a picture of how the Who Am I activity looked like. So the start of class, for the second seminar, we reviewed the class rules that we talked about for the first seminar. Then I showed them a video of kids trying food from around the world, and we discussed it, and many said that they would like to try different foods. So afterwards, we did a chip challenge where I bought a whole bunch of chips from everywhere, and then we all tried it, and the reactions were really funny. And afterwards, we did a stereotype activity where I split the class in 4 groups, and then I gave them pictures of people's stereotypes, and then they had to match it with the person who they really were. And then we discussed it, and a lot of students were shocked by the results. And I saw a few students feel kind of bad for like some of the things they said about that person's stereotype. And for our last activity, which was a game about celebrities around the world, where I had a keynote and the students have had to guess where that celebrity was from. And on the left are the students playing the stereotype activity, and on the right is the students trying out the chips. So for my third seminar, I showed the start of class, I showed a romantic Bollywood song to the students. Then we talked about the song. Afterwards, we learned a few Bollywood steps, and it was really funny to see. And then we saw Fashion Week videos of India. And then afterwards, we had a henna art activity where each student got to design their own henna art. So I liked the first activity that we had of the stereotyping, so I thought it'd be good if I had a second one where we would talk about it. So for this one, I spread sheets around the classroom, and they had words on them such as cheerleader, doctor, teacher, honor student, etc. And what we had to do was, when we walked around class, we had to write what first came to mind. And then after we were all done, I had a couple of students read out loud some of the responses, and many of them were shocked with what some other kids said. But afterwards, we discussed it, and I saw that a lot of them were reflecting on what they had said. And then afterwards, we had a couple of snacks. So here are an example of how the stereotype activity looked like, and some of the things they said. Like for honor student, they said smart, female, educated, glasses, good grades, crusty. For teacher, smart, always nagging, clever, high educated, usually white, glasses, always making dad jokes, which was for some things, like it was really like not okay, so we talked about those things. And here are some of the henna art that the students made, which I thought were really pretty and really creative. So for fourth seminar, which was the last seminar, we started with a telephone rumor activity, which was basically the game telephone, but we had someone say a rumor, and then it spread around the circle, and then the last person had to say it. So then we talked about the effects of how rumors can hurt people and how we shouldn't start them. And then I showed them a video of a student's life in Japan, how she travels early in the morning just to get to school in another city. And then we discussed how it was different from our school and how like we would feel if we had to do that every day. Then we reacted to Korean pop and Japanese pop videos and talked about it, and then we compared our music to their music. And to celebrate our last meeting, we did a cultural potluck, and a lot of kids brought food from different places, and I also brought food from my family's country, which was a big success. And towards the end, I had students fill out the self-reflection part 2, and we also had a graffiti wall where the kids wrote what they learned or what they liked about seminar. And here on the left is they're eating and they're enjoying the last food that we had. So for self-reflection, I gave out a questionnaire on the first semester with questions and statements like, I tried to learn about my culture group, or I would like to learn more about culture, or do I spread rumors about people, or how do I feel about people's culture group? So it was things like that. And afterwards, I knew that after they filled out, I knew I wanted to teach them about cultural awareness and stopping stereotypes, music, and acceptance. And for the last seminar, I gave them the same thing, and I wanted to see if their views on people, culture, gossip, and bullying changed. And some of them made a lot of progress. They said they would love to learn about other people's cultures or their own cultures, or some pretty stayed constant, but nothing too bad. So I was proud that I could at least teach them something. So my resources for my project have been Ms. Tordzik, who helped me with my seminar and helped me with so many ideas that I had. Ms. Smith, who helped me with bulletin board ideas and decorations. Mrs. Kumar, who also helped me with my third seminar. And Cindy Hidalgo, who helped me to get decorations, food, and just ideas in general for my project. And partnersagainst.hate.org, where I got a lot of my lesson plans, ideas. So the good of my project have been Music Fridays. I thought it was a big success. A lot of students went up to me and said that they liked the music that I played. Global Project was a big success as well. I really enjoyed having Brittany Patrick with me. It was a big help, and the two of us really did good together. And my bulletin board was a big success for me. I got to enjoy it, and I got to learn a lot about different countries. And my seminar was just wonderful. It was such a fun experience for me, and it was fun having Miss T there. So the not so good of my project has been procrastination, because I procrastinate so much, and then I leave everything for the last minute, and I stress out, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to be crying like I did. And not having enough backup plans for your project is not okay either, because I found myself stuck a lot of the time. So always have a lot of plans. So lessons that I learned for my project is it's always good to come out of your comfort zone, because I remember starting school here, I was very shy and I was scared and I don't like anybody, but once you come out of your shell, you find things and you get really good ideas, so it's always good. And I also learned that culture is a beautiful thing, and it is also good to learn about our world, and it helps you be more open-minded. And the most important thing I learned was to not judge people based on stereotypes or anything like that, because you might find someone really special or a really good friend. So special thanks. I would like to thank my family, who's always been there for me, my brother Fernando, who's always motivating me to do more, my best friend Karina and my best friend Jocelyn, who are always there motivating me, my senior class, they've been so amazing, they're always so supportive, Miss T for always helping me and always helping me to be more supportive, support others, and she's always telling me to be more positive. And Miss Smith, of course, for helping me this whole year. Been amazing. Thank you.